Tomorrow night is the most exciting time of the year for the handful of Major League Baseball fans left here in America. 7:30 or 7:03 tomorrow night, the World Series begins. Did you guys even know about it? There is excitement for the World Series in Philadelphia and Houston, but on a national level, people just don't seem to care. The week leading up to the NBA Finals, every sports show in America is talking about it. The 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, it is the topic of national conversation. The week of the Super Bowl, it's a national event. Every media outlet in the country travels to whatever city's hosting the Super Bowl. Radios, TV shows, they broadcast remotely all week. We are 24 hours away from the World Series, and the major headlines this week have been about Tom Brady and LeBron James. If you're under the age of 45, can you even name a player involved in the World Series? Judging by the numbers, the vast majority of you can't do it. But don't worry. The Associated Woke has you covered. Yesterday afternoon, they published a lengthy article introducing you to the stars in the World Series. Well, kind of. The Associated Press, they didn't introduce us to any stars. According to them, there are no stars in this year's World Series because no American-born black players will be on the field. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I referenced an article from Bobby Burek over at Outkick. It was talking about the supply of mythical racism running low. You guys remember that? In supply chain management, when supply is low and demand is high, you do everything you can to increase the supply of goods. The public demand for mythical racism is at an all-time low. But for some reason, the mainstream media, they continue creating stories for an audience of none. This garbage from the Associated Press is a prime example of what Bobby Burek was talking about. Imagine the absolute absurdity of this level of thinking. I have to hand out grade A shitfuck status here for the level of creativity. Casual baseball fans, they look at the World Series trying to find something interesting enough to make them watch. The mainstream media looks at the World Series trying to find lack of representation for marginalized groups. There are no prepubescent boys on the roster. The Phillies should sign Megan Rapinoe. There is no representation of the L, the G, the B, the T, the Q, the I, the A, the plus, the minus. They should have Rachel Levine throughout the first pitch. That will increase ratings. Americans love a good-looking sea donkey. Keep in mind, the Associated Woke, they did not say there aren't any black players in the World Series. Check out this picture of the Phillies. I count, 4 black players, a couple of them with beards, meaning it is entirely possible female birthing persons have representation in the World Series. But the Associated Press, they are concerned. They are oh so concerned because there aren't any American-born black players on the field. Who fucking cares? I mean, seriously, who cares? I have yet to see one black person complain about the supposed lack of representation in the World Series. You know why there aren't any U.S.-born black players in the World Series? Only 7% of the league is black. Of that 7%, I would imagine half are U.S.-born players. This was bound to happen at some point. The mainstream media, they claim to be all about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Nearly 40% of Major League Baseball is comprised of minority players. 40%. But that's not enough diversity for the media. No. You see, it's not the right kind of diversity. What was that smelly Jamelli said yesterday, and maybe it was Boy Reed? The Hispanic community is in close proximity to whiteness. Ooh, whiteness. I hate that color. White teeth, bad. White out, bad. White cloud, bad. White non-binary gender void birthing person. I like it. The Associated Press contacted Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro League Baseball Museum. They were obviously looking for answers. We need a solution to this national crisis. Unfortunately for the AP, Answers were not on the menu. Bob Kendrick said, "This is eye-opening. Oh my God, this is frightening. Two cities with large populations of black people refuse to put a black player on their team." While that is true of Philadelphia, I wouldn't say Houston has a large black population. They have a large Latino population, though. You know what city has one of the largest black populations in America? New Orleans. Know what New Orleans doesn't have? A fucking Major League Baseball team. We have been over this 1,000 times. There is no such thing as diversity in sports. Hell, there's no such thing as diversity in business. The best rise to the top, the rest get left behind. When the Atlanta Braves are looking for a pitcher, does anyone really believe they look at their roster and say, "We don't have enough American black players"? That's not the right way to say it, damn it! You must call them African Americans. Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have enough African American pitchers. Forget about the 18-year-old Latino kid who throws a 200-mile-an-hour fastball. Find me an African American pitcher now. Does anyone really believe that is their thought process? Never mind the fact that the last time I checked, Dusty Baker was the manager of the Houston Astros. According to the most recent census data, Dusty Baker chooses to identify as a black man. Now, I know, that could have changed overnight. According to the media, Dusty Baker could wake up this morning choosing to identify as an orange, which would immediately put him in the category of Orange Man Bad. But seriously, let's just be real here for a second. The only reason the media is complaining about diversity in baseball is because it's a majority white sport. They had this same complaint against the NHL. But we never get this same energy when talking about the lack of white players in the NFL or the NBA. Over the next week, there's going to be a lot of focus on ratings for the World Series. I will give Major League Baseball credit. They were smart with their scheduling. I mean, this is the same league that schedules playoff games during lunch on Thursday afternoon. The majority of the games in the World Series will be played in prime time during the middle of the week. The only time Major League Baseball will have to compete with the NFL is on Monday night. Yesterday, The Athletic posted an interesting article. The headline read, "Is the World Series still relevant in an NFL world?" The short answer, no. I know that's a tough pill to swallow for diehard fans of Major League Baseball, but I'm sorry, the truth hurts. I'm not here to lie to you. During the regular season, the NFL, they normally average around 20 million viewers. It's considered a failure if a high-profile NFL game draws less than 15 million. In the last 20 years, the World Series, they've only averaged 20 million or more 3 times. When I was growing up, baseball was seeing 25, 30, 35, sometimes 40 million for some of their games. Well, KC, that's due to cord cutting. Less people are watching television. Oh, yeah? Game 7 of the 1991 World Series, 50 million viewers. The 2022 NFC Championship game, 50 million viewers. Ratings for both the NLCS and ALCS, they were down compared to last year. Outside of San Diego, you had 3 of the largest media markets in the country featured in the championship series. Same for the World Series. Houston, Philadelphia, 2 of the largest media markets in the country. The NBA is heavily reliant on superstars to draw ratings. Baseball relies on major markets, major cities. The expectations for Major League Baseball have gotten so low. The media is saying 14 million viewers would be considered a huge success. Let me show you the biggest problem in baseball. This graph right here, it shows the level of interest in Major League Baseball by age group. No surprise, the most rabid baseball fans are over the age of 45. But look at the groups from 18 to 44. Half the people in that age group have zero interest in Major League Baseball. Now compare that with the NBA. The demographics, they literally flip. Well, Casey, who cares? Why is this important? Couple of reasons. Number one, Major League Baseball has lost 2 generations of Americans. People my age and the kids in the generation behind me have zero interest in baseball. That's half the fucking country. What happens to baseball when their hardcore fan base passes away? I mean, It's going to happen at some point, sooner rather than later. If you're running a sports league, it is critical to appeal to a younger audience. The reason is obvious. They're going to be alive longer. Number two, advertisers, they don't really give a shit about the older demographic. They want people in a younger age range because they're more likely to spend money. Most older people, retired people, they're living on fixed incomes. They don't have the discretionary income that the 37-year-old business executive making six figures has. You think Adam Silver really cares that 66% of baby boomers don't watch the NBA? No. Of all major sports, the NBA has the youngest audience. Now, we could sit here all day and come up with a variety of reasons as to why Major League Baseball continues to struggle. Many will blame woke politics, which, to be honest with you, that's partially true. Damn sure didn't help matters. But the problem with baseball is there's no solution to the problem in baseball. We are living in an era of instant gratification. We all have busy lives. We're always on the move. Your available free time is premium. When you watch TV, you want to see something exciting, action-packed, something entertaining, which is the exact opposite of Major League Baseball. If you understand the game of baseball, all the intricacies, all the strategies of it, it really is a beautiful game. But it's also painfully slow, and there's nothing they can do to change that. For the first time in years, I'm going to watch the World Series. I'm going to give the World Series a chance. I'm going to try and sit through it. But I got to be honest with you. If the Pelicans are playing at the same time as the World Series, it's a no-brainer for me. I'm choosing the NBA. But let me know what you think. The Associated Woke complaining about the lack of American black players in the World Series. Outside of the media, does anyone care about that? Also, will you guys be watching the World Series? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, kc_btl84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.